Your energy is the most powerful currency you can have in your business. Make sure that you spend it and use it wisely. In this video, I'm sharing exact strategies of how I protect my energy while running my 5 different companies. These are not just productivity hacks, these are real things that are going to help you in your daily work life. Number 1, morning rituals. How you start off your day is one of the most important things that you can do for not only managing multiple tasks, managing people and life stressors, but also just how you allow yourself to feel grounded and supported, which will that energy will basically carry with you throughout your entire day. So protecting your energy first thing in the morning is the most important time. So I know a lot of people wake up super early. I am an early riser. I get up at 6:20 every single morning. But the reason why I get up at 6:20 every morning is because I want to feel not rushed and to be able to do some of these morning ritual practices that set me up for success in every aspect of what I deal with on a daily basis, whether it be work, business, relationships, my partner, everything. If you wake up and the first app you click on your phone is Instagram or TikTok, you got an addiction. We need to work on creating boundaries with even things like social media. And I get it, like my job and half of my work is related to social media. So it's impossible for me not to check on it and work on it throughout my day. But the most important thing is that first hour, I actually wait 2 hours now before I open social media, is the key time to really embody these practices, which is gonna set you up for success. This is what I love to do, and the morning practices that I embody the first hour or 2, depending on what time you have, before my day starts. Grounding my energy outside. So I understand that not everyone is going to have access to grass or a park that's close by. Holla to my New Yorkers, I respect you. But you can find different ways of how you can ground your energy. You guys are gonna laugh, but this is legit something you can do. You can buy biodynamic or organic soil and put it in a, low, almost like a cat litter box, so have you, and put your feet inside of the litter box in the morning, and just being in the frequency of that dirt with your feet is a source of grounding. It doesn't necessarily have to be connected to earth, because that dirt was from the earth, which means it holds the same energy. So you don't have to get super complicated about it. And they've actually have scientific proof that when you put your feet in grass or any sort of type of nature, it can be sand, it can be forest, it actually heals your cells and takes them from being clumped up, which causes inflammation, to spread out. So this is a frequency that goes into the body and your cells recognize it, which then fights inflammation and creates flow and synergy, which is amazing, and it's free. Secondary to that, journaling and meditation. These are practices that, let me tell you, transformed my entire life. My relationships, my relationship with myself, my self-love journey, my relationship with my job, my businesses. It's actually the reason why I'm able to handle so many things in my daily life and not go into 1, fatigue, 2, completely drained, 3, be a stressed out, neurotic person, and 4, just hitting burnout. If I didn't do these 2 rituals, honestly, I think I would have quit being an entrepreneur. I think I would have just literally threw it all out the window and said no thank you, because my well-being would have suffered so much. But because I come every single day from a really grounded, self-reflective place, I listen always to some sort of wisdom the first hour that I wake up in the morning when I'm journaling. So I'll put on a podcast that I want to listen to, or something related to Kabbalah, or some sort of guru, or something that has a special wisdom and light that I can connect to that shifts the way that I think. Because when you listen to information like that, your soul is taking it in, and it will actually imprint on your soul, and then that will carry with you throughout your entire day. Another thing in my morning routine that changed my life was dumping coffee. We broke up, and drinking matcha instead. And some of you might say, oh my gosh, she only says that because she has a matcha company. No. I, of course, am biased because I have a matcha company, but I didn't have a matcha company always. I created a matcha company because of how much it changed my life, from drinking coffee in the morning and having crazy anxiety the whole day and not understanding why, to switching to matcha, which made me feel so grounded. It's high in L-theanine, which actually calms your nervous system and has a totally different caffeine than coffee will ever give you. The next thing I want to cover is creating a sacred work environment. So some people may work from home, and that makes this a little bit easier. If you work in an office, you can also make your space in the office something special. And if you feel like, oh, I can't do that because I share a table with whatever, ask your employer, do you mind if I bring a plant, my crystal, whatever it is that brings you joy and makes you feel calm and comfortable, so that you can put it in your space where you work? I guarantee you they're going to be like, yeah, of course, that's amazing. Like, I want to bring my plant to work too. So it's just about getting familiar with what you need in your work environment to, 1, feel inspired, 2, to feel calm, 3, to be excited about going to that workspace, because if you dread going to where you work, that's not good for your fatigue or burnout or inspiration or creativity. And that might be the number one issue why you feel depleted in your job or depleted in your work. So making sure that that environment is something beautiful, inspiring, definitely not cluttered. So if you're working in a space that is full of stuff everywhere, get rid of it, organize it, put it, naturally, if you need some inspiration because you're not a naturally organized person, like, hit up Pinterest, tons of inspiration on there. It's very simple to empower ourselves to be like, you know what? I know this clutter makes me feel stressed out. Maybe I don't realize it before, but now that I've recognized it, I'm going to clean this space. I'm going to make it peaceful, get a candle. I have incense, a crystal. I have a photo of me and my boyfriend. I have a photo of my dogs. All the things that make me feel happy. That is my workspace. Third most important thing, of course, is how we nourish our bodies. So a lot of people who overwork themselves typically don't nourish themselves very well. They have all the excuses in the world to, I didn't have time, or I just need something fast. And when we want to keep our energy within us, that's super important. Like, nourishment and what we put in our bodies is one of the most important things, not only of self-love and priority and making an effort to make sure that our bodies have the fuel that we need and we're not just running on crazy overdrive stress nervous system situation because we've just thrown a bunch of coffee in our system 4 times a day and maybe got a croissant or like a muffin. Like, none of that is nourishment. I understand convenience is always great, but we need to stop thinking that convenience is a way that we nourish our bodies, because it's not. I love to talk about on Instagram the quick and easy meals that I had. It took me 5 minutes to make my breakfast today, and I literally had leftover quinoa and vegetables in the fridge that I made for dinner the night before, and I reheated it into a pan. I cracked 2 eggs into it, toasted a piece of buckwheat toast, and that was my breakfast. And that's like an amazing amount of nutrient. I have quinoa, I have fats, I have carbs, I have vegetables, I have all the things that I know is going to fire and motivate me and not make me feel sluggish. So when you eat a muffin or a croissant or a bagel, that's going to tank your energy. It's going to you're going to go from like feeling kind of good with your matcha to like feeling really crappy and yawning and I need another thing of caffeine because I feel really sluggish. Like, of course it's going to deplete your energy because what you ate is not nutrient dense, which means your body cannot actually take any sort of energy from it. We rush around and eat in our car and all this stuff, and it's like, pause, enjoy, be grateful for the food, for the nourishment. When you put energy into your food, and this is something that I teach at my retreats, we have a silent dinner specifically to reconnect ourselves back with our food. It actually helps you digest the food so much better and so much easier because you're putting loving intent into the food, which then is, everything is energy. I don't care if you think you're not powerful, you are. If you speak intentions into your food and you put love into it and then you digest it, your body's like, yeah, that's way more lovable than usual. So give it a try and try to really nourish your body properly. The next thing I want to talk about, business systems working smarter, not harder. So there are some certain things that I have learned that have helped me a lot in my entrepreneur journey specifically. And a couple of those things is, of course, when you're an entrepreneur and you first get started, you have to do all the tasks by yourself because you're getting started. You don't have money to hire somebody to help you, XYZ reasons. But at some point, hopefully when you have efficiency and you're making a little bit of money, starting to write down the tasks and the things that really drain your energy because they're not something that you particularly love or are passionate about, which is totally okay when you're building a business. You start a business from something of passion, hopefully. And when you're passionate about something, that's where you really should like try to mold and keep all of your time and effort to. All the other tasks that are necessary as the business continues to grow, hiring people, bringing on interns, finding people that are interested in your ethos and your passions, they're going to be willing to work with you at maybe not a normal pay because they're going to believe in what you do. And hiring and bringing on that person is going to make you more efficient, which is going to make you more money, which then that person is going to get in return because it's going to essentially pay for itself. And then what that does is allows you to actually work on all the things that you're passionate about, and the flow and the energy is going to be inspiring and creative and happy, and your business is going to thrive 10 times more because now the tasks that essentially are draining your energy are given to somebody that's good at them, and then you can focus on what you're good at. Every single day at the end of my day, I write my priority tasks. So whatever is immediate priority that is the most important thing right now that I know I need to get done within the next 24 hours, I write that on the top of my to-do list for me to look at in the morning. Then I write all my other tasks that are still important, but they can maybe take 2 days or 3 days underneath that, so that I don't look at all of them and then be scrambled in different order and feel like I can't get them all checked off my list. This just helps the brain understand that like, okay, tomorrow if I get 1 through 5 done, I'm doing good. So set yourself up for success. Don't be like, I want to get 17 million different tasks done in a day. Like, be kind to yourself. Know that like one more day is not going to kill anyone, or you're not going to lose a job or like a client or whatever it may be just because one day passes by. Boundaries and energy protection. I think it's been like 7 years now. I actually turn off all of the notifications on my phone. And the reason why I do this, and a lot of people would argue with me and be like, oh my God, like you would miss 100 million things for work. But the thing is like no matter what, I'm going to look at my work that I need to work at the time that I'm ready to do that. I've learned that we're all addicted to our phones because we rely on them for so many things. And when we have notifications on our phone, you become even more addicted because every single time it lights up, you just want to go and touch it and see what it is. My boundary with my phone is that I have 0 notifications on, and I prefer to keep it that way. And just to give you some, if you all of a sudden question yourself, like, oh my God, I would never get any work done. Like, how would you know? All the panic that's going in your mind of turning off your notifications. I have built all of my businesses after I actually turned off all my notifications. So it has had actually benefit to me growing successful businesses versus having any bit of downfall to it. I have moved all of my communication to my computer. I like using Slack. I like using Notion. I like using emails, all of which when I'm on my working hours is what I like to use to communicate with my team. Of course, text messages and different things, they happen throughout the day during work, but I will check them when I feel that I need to look in my phone and open it versus just being bombarded by notifications all day. The second one is setting boundaries with your team. If you're a business owner, the beauty of being a CEO of your business is that your team is looking to you of creating the structure of how we function as a team. When you teach your team to be efficient and self-sufficient and say, when a problem arises and I don't know about it because they're handling it, they should go and find all the best options of how to handle and find the solutions before and then bring it to me. That way it's not like a panic and uproar and like, Shayna, the world's falling apart. Like all that's going to do is drain your energy. So giving them and empowering them that they are allowed to go and try to resolve problems on their own, that you don't need to micromanage them, and empowering them to do that. So it's creating a boundary, but it's also giving them the tools to thrive in their own work environment, which I think is how you really can build a successful and self-sufficient team. I know becoming a business owner and being really passionate about what I do and protecting my energy as much as possible, especially during the week. On the weekends, of course, like it's less important, but I still have a lot of boundaries with things like gossip or being around people who talk negatively about others, or even within my team. Energy is so powerful, and even if you don't say something to somebody's face, trust me, they feel it. I really don't give in to people who speak out of judgment. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I still catch myself judging, and I immediately try to stop. And whatever I was judging about that person, I try to say one thing really nice about them. This allows your brain to start training to not always think about the negative, but actually start thinking about the positive. And it's really powerful because at the end of the day, like, your brain is like a muscle. You have to retrain it when it's so used to being a certain way. So creating boundaries when someone else is starting to talk badly about someone, for instance, like if a friend comes around and basically just is like, oh gosh, Betty's really like annoying me because of XYZ, and all she does is complain about her boyfriend, and I'm just sick and tired of hearing it, blah, 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 all the negative stuff. You literally can just be like, you know what? Bless Betty. I send her so much love. I don't really want to talk badly behind her back. And I think we should just send her like positive vibes. If the person reacts to that and is like, oh, I'm not talking, I'm just like observing or whatever, just be like, okay, and sit back and be an observer, but totally take all of your energy, just bring it back into yourself and realize that you're just holding space for somebody to vent, and you don't want to take that bad energy in, and you can just like be the light and shine it on them and just like be there and just support them. And then, of course, you know, possibly leave early the conversation. I mean, you don't have to, but you get what I'm trying to say. The other day, I got a little overwhelmed with a certain circumstance that has been going on in my life for a very long time. And I could feel all this anxiety building up within my body of like, how is this still in my life? I feel like, how am I going to get through it? Like all of this negative talk and festering and high anxiety. I know that the moment I start to feel these things, I need to remove myself from the environment that I'm currently in. So I will get up, I will start doing deep breath work. So literally just like 4 breaths in, couple hold, 4 breaths out. There's many different breathing modalities that you can use. There's also the one where you clog one nostril, bring all the way in, hold it, plug the other nostril, breathe all the way out. That directly calms the nervous system. Sometimes I also just need to go outside and hear the birds or the nature or play with my dogs, or just change your environment and have a recognition of the fact that your body is going through a little bit of a reactive behavior, and that's okay. But what are the tools that I can do right now to try and stop my body from spiraling into a bad place and bringing it back down into grounded? Last but not least, evening detox to recharge your energy. I've coached a lot of people who suffered with sleep problems. And one of the main things that I immediately have them do when they have some sort of sleep apnea or falling asleep problems or sleep issues in general is 2 hours before you're going to sleep, no phone, no emails, no TV, no nothing. The reason being is because when we allow these things into our consciousness, and if you're going to watch like a romantic comedy, go for it. But if you're going to watch Game of Thrones or an action-packed war movie or anything around that realm right before you go to sleep, that's going to embed in your consciousness, and then it's going to disrupt your sleep because you're literally, your soul doesn't know the difference of what experience you're having in the physical. So when you're sucked into a TV show or sucked into an email or sucked into TikTok or sucked into Instagram, your consciousness and your body is going through some sort of experience like it's happening to you in the physical form. So avoiding those things that are going to make our nervous system and our emotional well-being go up and down a million times over and get our brains going, and then all the blue light also affects our brain chemistry. Just 2 hours before you're going to sleep. If you can't do 2 hours, at least 1 hour. No phone, no computer. I love to turn on spa music. The moment I'm like in wind down, putting on spa music, sets the tone. I'll draw a bath if you have one. I 100% take magnesium and L-theanine every single time you're about to go to bed. This helps relax the body, the nervous system, the muscles, so that you get deeper sleep. And make it like your bedtime ritual, like a thing, you know? Like I have my red light therapy. I put face masks on. I put my legs up the wall. I do foam rolling. Sometimes I just do an hour of stretching so that I sleep more comfortably. Like this is your real self-care time. This is where like the physical body can have a little bit of like recharged and re-energy. I sleep 9 hours, 8.5, 9 hours is my sweet spot. During the week, it's kind of a non-negotiable for me to get those hours in so that I actually function and feel recharged as a human being. I have my Oura ring. I wear my Oura ring every single night so I can track my sleep. I try not to eat 2 to 3 hours before I sleep as well, because when you eat a huge meal and then you go to bed, that depletes your energy. Your heart rate is going to be up the whole night and you're not going to feel rested the next day. These are some simple tools that are, of course, going to be really great for the functionality of you, which is going to make the functionality of your business and efficiency so much better. But it's also to just be non-negotiables all the time. Like how you start your day and how you finish your day is key components of how you actually show up as a human being throughout your entire day. The biggest shift, it's not that you don't have time, it's just that you don't have the energy. If something drains you, pause and recess it. If something lights you up, lean into it. You don't have to be good at everything. I'm horrible at responding to messages and a few other things, but that's okay. It's good to have strong things and it's okay to have not so strong things. Because my energy is limited, I choose to spend it on what truly matters. If you found this helpful, go ahead and watch The Day in the Life as a Business Owner. And if you have any other content ideas that you want to see from me, put them in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video.